Hello, creative friends. This is Joy. So I'm coming to you with another art journal page, and this journal page, I decided to do some more of these die cuts. So I went through and picked out a couple images from these die cuts, and then I went through my journal where I stamped a bunch of images in the journal and cut them out to go on this art journal page. So here I'm just showing you the journal where I just went through and stamped all of my images in the journal. And this is an idea from Dinah Wakely, and I am actually going to do this in a new Dinah Wakely Mix Me a Journal that I got. So I like the head on this particular die cut. But I wanted to put it on this body, so I'm just cutting off the body that comes with the head because I don't, need the body part. And then I decided to trim a little bit more of the white from around the head because it just seemed like there was a lot there. And so I wanted to cut it just a little bit closer. So I cut that, and then the body, I figure, well, I'll save that. I might use that on something, another page with a different head at some point. So I wanted to go around the edge of the chin here to make sure that, I got that black line around it to match the rest of the body. So I'm just fixing that to, because might have cut off a little bit too much. And so wanted to fix that. And then I got these new paint markers that I got recently, and I decided that I wanted to do a border around the page. So I was going to use the paint marker, and got this stencil out of my stash that I was going to use to do the border, but I didn't particularly care for the way it was working, and so I decided instead of using that I was just going to get just a Sharpie and just use a Sharpie. I figured that would be good enough. So anyway, I've got this like fancy little pattern that I wanted to put around the edge of this page, to put a border around it. So I'm, going around the edge of the page to just add this around it. So here I tried to get close into the corner, and it was not working. It wasn't getting close enough for me, so I ended up just taking my scissors and snipping off so that I could get closer into that corner, so that the stencil would work better for me. So that's what I did here, and I was able to get that border on the inside of the page. So I'm doing that here, and I don't know. And this page has like paint on it from a previous project that I just cleaned off on this page. And as you can see, it's a craft page. And I guess everybody has a difference of opinion as to whether they, fill both pages up and do like a two-page spread or just do a one-page spread. But I don't know. I just always do. I do have some journals where I will do two-page spreads, but a lot of my journals, I just do the one page. I don't do the back side of the art journal pages. I don't know why, but yeah, that's the way I do it in my art journals, and so I guess it's just a matter of you know what people like to do. So I decided to use my Aleene's tacky glue to put down these images because the last art journal page that I did on the craft, I used a Bond glue stick, and I guess it worked okay, but I had a little bit of problems with getting it to adhere, so I really wanted to make sure I got these images down securely on the page. So I decided I would use my Aleene's tacky glue to get them, glued down to the page, and that way, I wouldn't have any problems here. And both the die cuts and the images that I cut out of my journal are on thick enough paper to where I can use the Aleene's tacky glue, and it, won't warp the paper or anything like that. So, it's okay to use the wet glue, but if you have a image that you're putting down that's a thinner paper or like from a magazine or something, it's probably not the best glue to use because it will kind of warp and buckle the paper. But for these images, I knew that it wouldn't because the paper that it's on is much thicker. So on my little banner, I like cut this word into a banner, which I thought would be really cute. I wanted to put that black line around it, and have the white edge like my other images. And when I cut out the bird, I cut it out purposely to have that little bit of a white, around it as well. So I'm using my new Arteza pens, markers here to color in these images. And so here I'm decided that I wanted her dress pink. I'm not much of a pink type of person, but for some reason she just seemed like she needed a pink dress. So that's what I decided to do, is make her dress pink. She was telling me I want a pink dress, and she's all sassy, so I just thought that was just would be so cute. So I colored her dress in pink, and I used the bold, it has a fine tip and then a bold tip, so I, used the fine tip for tighter areas, and then the, brush tip or the bigger tip, not a brush tip, it's a bigger tip, the bold tip for the bigger areas. And then I'm going over like areas where I thought should be shadowed just to kind of make them a little bit darker. So then I got out this blue. I like the blues, so I thought I'd do her little belt in blue, and then I thought I'd do some blue in her headdress. So I'm coloring in these circles and some lines and stuff on her headdress or her headpiece with the blue. So that's what I'm doing here, adding some of that blue to her headpiece that I put, that I used for her belt. And then I decided to use a different, like rose colored pink for her lipstick. And then I decided to use some of this pink that I used on her dress and her headpiece, so that way they matched. So that's what I'm doing here, just adding the pink to her headdress. And then I decided to see what I do next. I don't remember. Oh, color her eyes and her skin. So this is somewhat of a skin tone. I figured it was close enough, so I used that to color her in her skin. And I haven't swatched out these markers yet, but I need to, because the caps don't really show the true colors of what these markers look like when you put them on the page. So or when you use them on a page, I really need to swatch them out. So I decided, like, she's got a square around her eyes, so at first I did it the same color as the skin tone, but then I really wanted it to stand out more, so I decided to do it in yellow. And there I was just testing the color because I wanted a brighter yellow, so I decided to do that piece on her head, in yellow, and to do around her eye in yellow, and then do the banner in yellow and the bird in yellow. So I decided to put yellow on all the items to kind of tie it all together. So pretty much, I think that's pretty much the page that I created. If you like this, you can give me a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to my channel to see more. You can leave me a comment. I love to hear from you. I really appreciate all the support I get from everyone who watches my videos, and it helps keep me motivated and continuing in my creative process, and I hope it motivates others to do the same. I don't really get to create every day, but I do as much as possible. So coloring on her shoes, and that's it. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.